What's up, everybody? Welcome to Diamond Owl Studios, the number one place for music reactions. I'm Paper Chase.
And it's the one and only Diamond Don Juan. I'm super excited for this reaction, as a matter of fact. I feel like this is the song that reminds me of like Pink Floyd. When I think of Pink Floyd, this is the song I think of.
This is the only song that I ever remember like hearing anything from by Pink Floyd, but mainly just like in movies or casually passing by. I've never listened to the song in its entirety. And I know it had like a really big cultural like relevancy, right? Like,
Yeah, I've never seen the video. I know there's a movie called The Wall. So like, I don't know how that ties in because I've never seen the movie. And I'm kind of similar to you in the sense that I know of this song. I've like heard it on the radio, but there's a difference between listening to it like we've been listening to Pink Floyd recently and how I've engaged with it in the past. So I'm very curious if I like pick up different nuances or things that, I might have missed in the past. Because a lot of times I think it was just something that was playing on the radio, maybe when I was a kid, or you know what I mean? I've never really, to be completely honest, I've never really like sat down and put on Pink Floyd and been like, I want to listen to Pink Floyd until we started listening to it in here.
yeah, definitely. And now it's definitely become one of my favorite things to react to. But we've basically only done live performances. So I'm really excited to see one of their
that is true.
videos and their visuals and see what they concocted in this, because I know without a doubt it's going to be great.
All right, here we go.
What have we here, laddie? Mysterious scribblings? A secret code? Oh, poems, no less. Poems, everybody! The laddie reckons himself a poet. Money gets back. I'm all right, Jack. Keep your hands off my stack. New car, caviar, four-star daydream. Think I'll buy me a football. Absolute rubbish, laddies. Get on with your work. Repeat after me. An acre is the area of a rectangle whose length is 1 furlong and whose width is 1 cubit.
All right, so I had to pause it right there. What was going on there?
Okay, I don't know if he was like spanking a student for disobeying or if that was like him fantasizing about like spanking his wife or something, right?
I think he was spanking the students and like flashing back to it. Like,
Oh, okay, that's what you think? That's what I was that was my other thought, for sure.
yeah, we got some layers to this, that's for sure.
Oh, absolutely.
We don't need no education. We don't need no thought control. No dark sarcasm in the classroom. Teacher, leave them kids alone.
absolutely love the visual, love the video, man. Just it's a stark exploration into individualism and all the kids going through this factory, and they're just turning and burning these kids to become exactly the same what they want them to be. Another brick in the wall, and I think that's pretty self-explanatory. But wow, how geniusly put together. I love this. Is like high production for this day and age, for back then.
Well, yeah, I mean, there's a movie attached to it, so I think this is just directly taken from the movie, and I mean, it leaves no doubt what the song's about.
Mhm.
The visuals just explain like, hey, this is exactly what the song is about, which I think it's pretty easy to grasp by listening to the lyrics, but like, I get it. I think I've said it before. Like, I understand now why people love Pink Floyd so much.
Mhm.
Like, and that was prior to actually doing this reaction, but this just even drives it home even more because I think we have all gone through that period, especially if I don't think anybody really feels heard or felt or honored in school. I think
Mhm.
we all feel like outcasts to a degree. And every human that goes through that process feels like you're kind of just like a cog, that you're just like
Yeah.
forced into this, like, I'm a, round shape trying to be forced through a triangular
Mhm.
hole. But it's varying degrees. And I think some people struggle with that whole system more than others. I personally, I dropped out in ninth grade. So if that
Yeah, I
tells
was
you
gonna say
anything.
I struggled heavily with that, but there are a lot of kids, who kind of like they thrive in that environment. They thrive in doing exactly what they're told to do, and I don't know. I mean, this is gonna sound kind of messed up, but I always thought it was like a sign of intelligence to like go against the grain, to not
Mhm.
just follow along in a straight line, do absolutely everything you're told, question things, be
Mhm.
creative. I always thought that that was a true sign of intelligence. And, like not to say that some of the kids, I grew up with and went to school that followed everything by the book. Like they might have very successful lives, but did they ever do anything they wanted to do? Like,
I think that for highly intelligent people, school can be like a prison
mm-hmm,
because you're not allowed to really flourish in that environment. And that's what this song does. I think it's like gives voice to all those people who struggled and who felt like they were ostracized, who felt like they didn't belong. And that's what it's speaking about. It's just like, hey, leave those kids alone. It's like you're not actually teaching them, you're indoctrinating them. The saddest part is that we're like 40 years on from when the song was written and nothing's changed.
mm-hmm,
That's where like I'm going to be completely honest, like I feel bad as a parent sometimes for having my kid go to school.
yeah,
Like if I had things to do over again, I think I would have tried to homeschool him in some
mm,
fashion or found a community to do that because I just don't think it gives you an opportunity to flourish. And I
be an
think that
individual and
be an
yeah,
individual, and I don't think it's really teaching you life skills that are actually relevant. I
yeah.
think that so much of what life is about, human interaction, being able to talk, being able to communicate emotionally, gets suffocated in this environment. And I know this is a tangent, but like you know that's the thing that's so powerful about this song is that it's so deep, it's so
Mhm.
relevant, years on, decades later, that it hasn't lost any of its relevancy. In fact, it's more relevant or just as relevant than it ever was.
Yeah.
And I'm wondering because like again, like going back to like I understand why people are so enthralled and so, locked in with Pink Floyd and it's like so meaningful to them. Prior to this, is there any other music that really like took on, the system
Mhm.
and education and the way that, children are molded to just be, basically a cog in the machinery, another brick in the wall? Like, did anyone else ever like do this prior to them?
My guess would be no, because I feel like kind of they were probably some of the forefathers of like
Mhm.
that individualism movement of like, being your own. At least I don't know because I'm obviously I mean I was born in 1995, so I
Yeah.
don't, like I wasn't
Yeah.
around for this, but that's how it feels to me. And I feel like yeah, this wasn't done previous to this.
Yeah.
Maybe at
And
least not to this extent. Maybe same messages, but like
yeah, maybe there were songs where they like slid it in, but this is like an explicit, like, to like kind of taking it on head on, like we're making a song specifically about this and an incredible video to go with it. And then let's just be, you know, like honor their musicianship and songwriting and everything. Like a lot of times when artists take on serious subject matter, the potency of it gets lost. Like it becomes too preachy. This is a banger.
This is such a good song. I
And it
absolutely
has
love
the message in there, and it's like you want to replay this song.
Yeah, absolutely. Jesus.
Again, an acre is the area of a rectangle whose length is 1 furlong and whose width is 1 cubit.
What do you think that meant at the end there?
What, the phone ringing? I don't know.
I think it was like them calling the kid or the parents' kids like he's in trouble for daydreaming, for thinking about anything different. Yeah, man, that's such an incredible song. I mean, it's iconic in every way, but truly, I mean, I know what you said earlier, so I'm just gonna push back a little bit on it. But I feel like, you know, back then in schools, because it's what, the 60s.
Yeah, 60s or 70s.
Yeah, I mean, like kids used to literally get like belted and whipped if they were doing anything wrong. You know what I mean? Like I do feel like times have changed a bit, but it is still true to this day. Like when you're in normal traditional schools, like everybody's forced to learn the exact same thing at the same pace, do the exact same thing, stay in line, you know, and you know, like I had my daughter in Montessori school, which I'm not sure if you're too familiar with like the Montessori philosophy, but it's a lot different. And that's because I've always strongly agreed with what they're saying, you know, of I don't want my kid to be forced to learn at the same pace as every single person around her, be forced to act accordingly, just like everybody around her. I want, you know, some freedom to let her grow into her own person, you know?
Yeah, I mean, that's part of why I dropped out of, there was like two major things that stuck out in my mind. One was we were reading the Odyssey in high school, right? Homer's Odyssey. So I really got into Greek mythology in elementary school. And I read like some of the like Greek mythology and I was absolutely obsessed. So like I actually had trouble reading, like, and I had to go to like special ed type classes to like learn how to read. But then and they had this program where they'd give you little stars, and the star for every book that you completed, and you'd get like a personal pizza from Pizza Hut. So no joke, like Pizza Hut literally taught me how to read. So that's like thing number one, like that program, like I got to give credit because it literally like taught me how to read because I was like, oh, I want to read this book because I want to get a pizza. Like we kind of came up, you know, my mom was like poor when we were growing up. So we didn't have money to go out and like eat to places like that. So I was like super obsessed, getting these gold stars, getting my little pizzas, you know. And then I started like getting into Greek mythology. So fast forward, high school comes around, we're reading the Odyssey. I'm super engaged. I was like so excited because I hadn't read it in years. I read it again. Teacher calls on me and she's like, hey, can you know, it's your turn to read. And I'm like, oh, I'm sorry. Can you, you know, tell me where we're at? She gets like mad. You know, I go to her after class. I'm like, hey, I'm sorry. I was actually just reading ahead. And I asked her, like, can you give me the homework? Because I was actually excited to, because I knew we were going to have to do a report on it and I wanted to dive in. And she's like, no, you just have to follow along with the class. So, you know, I got reprimanded and then was told, no, I can't actually do the homework. I had to wait.
Mm-hmm.
And then I had another incident that happened, you know, around the same time, which was in civics class. And same thing. I've always been into history. I got the civics book. I read it front to back, like within the first couple weeks.
Mm-hmm.
And then I would always skip civics because it was like lunch, civics, and then study hall. And I was just like, I'm not going to go to my civics class. I'm going to take a long ass break.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? And go get high with my friends. So months go by and I don't go to class. Like my parents were literally about to like get in trouble. They were getting like, you know, messages.
Truancy
like
stuff.
Yeah. And so I decide to go to class and my teacher looks at me and she's like, oh, what a perfect day to come to class. We have the test today. And I'm like, oh shit, I'm high as hell. I sit down in class. I aced the test. I got like 103 or 106% on the test.
How was that possible?
Because I had extra credit.
Oh, okay.
So I got everything right plus all the extra credit.
Okay.
So then I got called into the principal's office and they were like, hey, you know, you cheated. You know, you cheated off of somebody in the class is what they said. And, you know, you haven't been to class. There's no way. And I just told them, I was like, I actually like really enjoyed this. I read the whole like book, like I retained it because it's something that I'm passionate about. I actually like history. They're like, well, we know you cheated off somebody. And I was like, okay, well, that should be simple to answer. Like who else got 106%? You know, we can figure out pretty quickly. And they kind of look at each other and the principal goes, who else got 106%? She's like, well, he was the only one. And I'm like, so obviously I didn't cheat off of anybody else in the class.
Because then it would have been wrong. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. There would have been somebody else. She's like, we know you cheated and I got suspended for cheating. So that was kind of like the last straw where I was just like, you know what? I'm fucking done with this.
Yeah.
And I think that's like, you know, relevant to like what we were talking about in the song. It's like churning out these like, you know, robots and anybody that steps outside of the line, it's like they're getting whipped and put back into place.
Yeah, exactly. Beautiful message, man. I love it. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, make sure you drop a like. And if you guys want to join us on our journey of discovering new music, make sure you guys hit that subscribe button. Don't wait till later. Subscribe right now. And we'll see you on the next one.
Yeah, I got to say, though, for the people out there that are, you know, watching this video, you have to comment and tell us like what impact this song had on your personal life. Cause I know that there was a message that like resonated with you guys. And also what's the lore? I want to know creatively whose idea it was to put the kids on the song. Cause that's like such a genius decision.
It was
to get them to chance. I mean, yeah.
Awesome. Well, thank you guys. We'll see you on the next one.
Peace.